the tsunami.
Enough to protect your health.
Is this a public health crisis?
Yes, this is.
All right, good morning. We're going to extend our coverage for our first alert weather day. We have meteorologist Eric Garlick here with Caroline Hicks next to me. And this is what we're going to be tracking as we go through the morning. That winter weather advisory, got some potential for some freezing rain, some icing, even a little bit of accumulating snow last night before this changed over to that winter weather. We are going to be tracking that cold rain as well. So, Caroline, thanks for joining me this morning.
Absolutely. It's a first alert weather day. You've been busy all morning in the weather center tracking this storm as it's moved across our viewing area. So we did want to bring you a digital edition of WBTV News this weekend.
Yeah, so let's get right to it. I'll walk over to the wall and we'll just kind of talk about what we're experiencing weather-wise and give you a little bit of extended coverage on this first alert weather day on this Saturday, January 6th, 2024. So what we're expecting is that first alert weather day to taper off over the next couple of hours. Still the possibility for some wintry precip as we go through the next couple of hours, but eventually we're going to see this ending, becoming an all rain event, and then those biggest impacts going to continue to be along and northwest of I-40 as we go through the morning hours. So what we can expect for the rest of the morning: we're going to see rainfall totals up to about 3/4 of an inch, up to an inch in some isolated spots. Some pretty good rainfall coming down with this. Total rainfall and ice accumulations really starting to taper off, anywhere from 100 to 2/10 of an inch of rain, ice as we went through that event, and then mountain snow, some accumulations coming in about an inch at this point. So winter weather advisory still in effect through 1 o'clock this afternoon. Ashe, Watauga, Avery, Burke, Caldwell, Cleveland, Lincoln, Catawba, Alexander, Iredell, and Rowan counties, all included in that winter weather advisory, and something we're keeping a very close eye on. We'll take you up to Morganton right now. You can see the rain coming down. Doesn't look like we're seeing any ice accumulate on those trees or elevated surfaces at this point, but also not seeing any snow or ice pellets falling at this point either. So a different vantage point. We'll take you to Morganton. There's Stallings, there's Charlotte Motor Speedway, and there's Chitola, dealing with some of that reduced visibility, some fog also possible this morning, but we are starting to see this transition to all rain. Let's go back the last couple of hours. You can see that wintry precip setting up from Hendersonville back toward Morganton, up toward Boone. Those yellows and oranges indicating some moderate to heavy rainfall, but those pinks and blues indicating a little bit of a wintry mix and some sleet possible. Winter weather advisories for the areas in purple. You can see off to the north and west, those areas dealing with that winter precip at this point. So currently, look at these temperatures. 32 degrees in North Wilkesboro, still 34 in Morganton, Asheville at 34 degrees. All of us above freezing here in the metro. 39 Rock Hill, 39 Charlotte, 35 Salisbury. Not dealing with any of that frozen precip or really any worries about those roadways icing up, but getting reports of some freezing rain south of Asheville. That's where we had a winter storm warning, looking at power outages in the area, about 2/10 of an inch of ice, and then a couple of reports coming in from the Boone area, Watauga County, 3/10 of ice there north of Boone, and then 2/10 and then 1/10 as you head closer to Blowing Rock. So definitely dealing with some accumulating freezing rain, especially on power lines, trees, and such over the last couple of hours, and still coming down a little bit in that area with those temperatures below freezing and some rain coming down. It's going to be freezing rain, and could see those ice totals added to a little bit, but we're really starting to see this transition to that cold rain event in the Morganton area. Hickory still holding steady at 33 degrees. Likely a cold rain coming down there as well. And then looking at some moderate to heavy rainfall as you head over toward Albemarle, Wadesboro, Chesterfield. Look at Chesterfield, 43 degrees. Lancaster at 41. So all of these temperatures now above freezing. Taking a look at road conditions. So areas where we're seeing pink indicating where radar has picked up on some icing, and mainly bridges and overpasses, those elevated surfaces, as well as trees and power lines. Otherwise, dealing with some wet roadways with some ponding on them. Traffic looking good. No major problem areas jumping out. No oranges or reds popping up either. As you head down toward Fort City, Shelby, I-40, all green, looking good as far as traffic goes. Let's take a look at these temperatures up into the high country though. West Jefferson 32, 31 in Blowing Rock. So those temperatures right on the cusp of warming up above freezing, transitioning to that cold rain event. And this event should be wrapping up here in the next couple of hours. Lenore 34, 34 in Lincolnton, 40 Wadesboro, 43 in Chesterfield. Futurecast showing that transition taking place through the rest of the 9 o'clock hour as we head toward noon. It's moving out pretty quickly. Maybe a few peaks of sunshine as we head into the afternoon. So looking at the newest data that we have for this first alert weather day, showing ice accumulations, potentially a little bit more popping up in some areas, but really starting to see that widespread icing go down. As far as chances of seeing a 1/10 of an inch or more of rain, only about a 10% chance for that icing to continue over a 1/10 of an inch. So definitely going to be dealing with some slick spots. Morganton back up toward Boone this morning. Otherwise just dealing with some ponding on the roadways. We really don't deal with widespread issues in ice impacts until we get over that 1/4 of an inch threshold, especially as we get up toward a 1/2 inch. Numerous power outages, icy roads, tree limbs starting to come down, but most of us dealing with less than a 1/4 of an inch of ice piling up. So over the next 12 hours, looking at those temperatures warming up into the mid 40s, maybe a few peaks of sunshine. Now, we're not done with our first alert weather days this week yet, but today, that'll be wrapping up as we head through the next couple of hours. And then as we head toward Tuesday, we got our next first alert weather day, and that's going to be for heavy rainfall, the potential for some flooding, and even some thunderstorms possible. So we've been keeping a close eye on all of this morning, including out on the roadways. We have had Storm 3 out. Claire putting on a lot of miles this morning. Claire, how are the roadways looking?
Well, Eric, that's right. Welcome to our road trip. We took the road from Mecklenburg County all the way up through Iredell. We went through Catawba. We went up to Burke County and Morganton, where we did see some heavier rain. Came back down through Gastonia, and we have made our way back here in Charlotte. Rain everywhere we've been, no ice. We did not experience any of that on the road. Now, of course, the temperature did get cooler. We're sitting at about 41 degrees here in Charlotte, but when we were up in Morganton, we were sitting at 34 degrees. We took out this thermometer to test the temperature of the road. I'm going to show you a video here as we tested the roadway underneath the overpass and then also just the plain roadway. You can see there's a difference in that temperature. We've been talking about how you have to really slow down when you get to those overpasses. We know this, we were taught this when we first started driving, but just a good reminder that this temperature throughout our viewing area is going to be icy in some areas as the temperature continues to move around a little bit. So as the Highway Transportation said, the Department of Transportation said, if you don't have to go out today, just don't, because of the temperature on the roadways being up and down. I'm going to give you a look here now at the road here in Charlotte. You can see wet conditions, but again, nothing that is threatening, nothing that is icy out here for the morning hours, which, like you can see, very low traffic here on a Saturday morning. But the roads were treated throughout these counties that we traversed through this morning, but because of the rain, it washed off a lot of that salt solution. So again, if that temperature does dip, then we will see issues out here, black ice forming, and it could just be patchy. You know, you might just come upon it. We luckily have not come upon anything that has been icy this morning, but certainly slick with heavy rains, especially up in Burke County. That's where we saw the heaviest rain throughout our road trip this morning. So we are continuing to track the conditions throughout the day here, and you can follow us here throughout the day on WBTV. But for now, we'll send it back to you all in the studio.
All right, thanks, Claire. We appreciate that she was out there monitoring the conditions for us this morning, but really it turned out to just be a lot of rain, right?
Yeah, and thankfully, and you know, this is why we have those first alert weather days. Had it been a degree or two cooler, that 32 degree threshold, 31, 30, probably would have saw some icy conditions on the roadways, especially where Claire was, and places in the high country getting reports of 2/10 of an inch, 3/10 of an inch of ice now, primarily on the branches and power lines and those elevated surfaces where that cold air could get around to it. But that's, this is why we prepare you for worst case scenario, so you're not caught out in it without knowing. And that's the beauty of these first alert weather days. And we have another one coming our way as we head toward Tuesday, and the potential for some heavy rainfall, some flooding, and even a severe weather threat for portions of the Carolinas. We're keeping a close eye on it for you.
Absolutely, and we hope that you guys will join us tomorrow, Sunday. We will be launching our Sunday morning show, so you can catch me and Eric from 7 to 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. We look forward to bringing some more weather updates as well as your breaking news and biggest headlines.
Yeah, it's really difficult to cover 2 first alert weather days. So tomorrow, the weather going to be a lot different, and we're going to have time to kind of break down and really talk about the first alert weather day that's coming on Tuesday. But of course, you can download the WBTV weather app. We'll be updating, throughout the day today. Meteorologist Alicia Wilson will be in with those afternoon updates. Of course, our shows this evening, and then we'll be dealing with that as we head toward Tuesday.
All right, well, thanks for joining us, and we hope that you stay safe out there and maybe stay inside if you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Cold and a little bit gloomy this morning. Have a great Saturday, though.
Your day, and you need to be prepared. WBTV.